Welcome back to another video where I talk about Fallout New Vegas again. In this one, I actually wanted to deep dive into the game and tell you why it is truly an amazing game even in 2025 after 15 years later. Fallout New Vegas was released in 2010, just a year before the juggernaut that was Skyrim, which frankly overshadowed New Vegas even a year after. New Vegas was developed in 18 months, which is far shorter than the development time Fallout 3 got, which was approximately 4 years. Fallout 3's development started in the late 2004, but full-scale development was initiated after the launch of Oblivion. 18 months was enough for a game if it was made in the 90s, but is not enough time to develop a full-scale AAA game in the 2000s. That's why New Vegas launched with a ton of bugs and glitches and was named the buggiest launch that Bethesda ever did. New Vegas was developed by none other than Obsidian Entertainment. Several of the developers in Obsidian worked in the development of Fallout 1 and 2, which is why New Vegas has that kind of writing. New Vegas was launched with 84% Metacritic score and an 8.6 audience score, which, not that bad, but most players trashed it for massive amounts of bugs and glitches that was in the game. That's enough of a history lesson, right? Let's get back to what made New Vegas great. Yes, the combat is clunky and generally not that fun to engage in, but the other mechanics and the story made this game one of the best in the series and one of the best RPG games ever made, despite the bugs. In Fallout 3, you follow through a lengthy prologue where you get born and have a birthday and take a test, and after that you get thrown out into the open world. This prologue section is rather different in Fallout New Vegas. A cutscene plays where you get shot in the head, and after that, a doctor just miraculously brings you back from the dead, and the game just throws into the Mojave Wasteland. This section is quicker and lets you get into the meat of the game rather quicker than Fallout 3. Level up system, and the points and some of perks are the same as Fallout 3, but there are some different perks that gives you some unique things, such as the Wild Wasteland perk, which adds some goofy Easter egg type things to the wasteland, which makes the Mojave a little bit different if you're playing it again after finishing it. One other thing is that the weapon variety is much higher than Fallout 3, which had a limited collection of weapons. Because of this, finding ammo for each weapon is a little bit difficult than Fallout 3, where you can just stock up on ammo as much as you like. You can actually run out of ammo if you're not careful in New Vegas because there are so many weapons. Another thing is the progression of the story of New Vegas, which feels natural because everyone will say, don't go through Quarry Junction. If you really want it, you can just go through there. But this section holds the most powerful enemies of the Fallout series, which are the Deathclaws. The thing is that you can sneak by these guys without them noticing, and that even make it interesting. Rather than blocking the way completely, the game emphasizes to take the long way around. Because if you do this, the encounters are much easier to manage than the killing machines, which are the Deathclaws. And that design philosophy is what makes New Vegas special. The game doesn't force you down a path. It warns you, sure, but it trusts you to make your own decisions. If you're clever enough or just plain stubborn, you can try your luck and maybe even succeed. That openness is something a lot of modern games shy away from, often afraid the player might break the intended experience. But in New Vegas, breaking the sequence is the experience. Now let's talk about factions, because this is where New Vegas truly outshines both Fallout 3 and even Fallout 4. Unlike the binary good versus evil structure, New Vegas offers nuanced, morally gray choices. You've got the NCR, a bureaucratic mess of a republic to bring law and order, but at the cost of efficiency and often ethics. Then there's Caesar's Legion, brutal, totalitarian, and based on Roman ideals. Horrific, yes, but they do bring stability in their own way. And of course there's Mr. House, who's like if a tech CEO decided to take over Vegas and never die, and if none of that suits you, you can say screw it and take the Mojave for yourself. The fact that each of these factions feels fleshed out, believable, and internally consistent is a testament to the writing. The world reacts to your decisions in a way that feels organic. You can play a diplomatic courier who tries to talk through every situation, or a chaotic gunslinger who just wants to see it all burn. And both playthroughs feel valid. Even the side quests are packed with weight. Remember Boone's personal story? Or the mystery of Vault 11? They aren't just filler. They're often better written than the main quests of other RPGs. And these stories stick with you long after you've finished the game. Now let's not forget about the survival mechanics added in hardcore mode. Suddenly, healing isn't instant. Ammo has weight. Food and water matter. It transforms the way you think about travel and combat. And for players who want that challenge, it's there, without being shoved down your throat. Let's talk companions. Fallout New Vegas doesn't just give you followers, they give you people with depth, motivations, and quests of their own. Veronica, for example, isn't just a punch-happy Brotherhood of Steel scribe. She's someone struggling with the direction of her faction and asking serious questions about tradition versus progress. Boone is haunted by his past. Arcade Gannon has deep ideological conflicts. Rawl? He's a ghoul mechanic wrestling with the idea of his usefulness in a world that's moved on. And here's the thing. The game lets you influence these companions. Their quests can change based on what you say or do throughout your journey. That sense of character agency, both yours and theirs, builds a sense of connection that few games in 2010, or even now, really nail. Then, there's how the game handles skill checks. Unlike Fallout 4, where dialogue often boiled down to yes, sarcastic yes, or no, New Vegas actually uses your stats in meaningful ways. Have high science? Hack a terminal and learn something important. High speech? You can talk someone down instead of fighting. Low intelligence? The dialogue options reflect that too. And the game actually rolls with it in a way that's often hilarious and sometimes surprisingly effective. And we haven't even gotten into the DLCs yet. Honestly, each expansion is practically its own RPG. Dead Money? It's a claustrophobic survival horror story with themes of greed and obsession. Honest Hearts dives into tribal politics and moral dilemmas in Zion Canyon. Old World Blues? A hilarious and surprisingly heartfelt dive into pre-war science gone mad. And Lonesome Road, the ultimate confrontation with your past and the choices you've made. They're not just tacked-on content, they expand the themes and world of New Vegas in powerful, meaningful ways. The Mojave itself, as a setting, feels alive, not because of some fancy AI system or next-gen graphics, but because of how it's written. Every faction outpost, every vault, every weird little shack in the desert tells you something. The storytelling is baked into the world, not just delivered through quest markers. And you start to realize that this isn't just a post-apocalyptic game. It's a game about rebuilding, about ideologies, about what kind of future is even possible after the bombs fall. The NCR, the Legion, House, and even Yes Man, they each represent a vision of the future, and it's up to you to decide which vision wins. But here's something a lot of people miss. New Vegas is funny too. Like, actually funny. The kind of dry, dark humor that you don't expect but hits perfectly. Whether it's the absurdity of some of the wild wasteland encounters or just random dialogue with some bizarre NPCs, the humor doesn't undercut the tone, it adds to it. It reminds you that this world, broken as it is, still has personality, still has weirdness, still has life. And that's really what separates New Vegas from other RPGs. It respects your intelligence. It gives you tools, options, consequences, and trust. It's not afraid to let you screw up. It's not afraid to let you walk away from a quest. It's not even afraid to let you make the wrong choice. Because in the Mojave, your story is the story that matters. And that's exactly why people keep coming back to it, even now in 2025. Because every time you replay it, the game gives you something new, some different path, some character you missed, some quest you handled completely differently without even realizing it. Take the White Glove Society, for instance. First time you meet them, they seem refined, polite, high society types trying to keep Vegas classy. But then you dig a little deeper, and suddenly you're in the middle of a plot involving cannibalism. And how you deal with that? Up to you. Expose them, join them, reform them, trick them, kill them. It's your call. And that's just one faction in one casino. Then there's the little stuff, the environmental storytelling. The skeletons positioned in strange ways in old ruins. The tiny unmarked stories you piece together from terminals and notes. The old pre-war buildings with relics of a time long gone, just sitting there for anyone curious enough to stop and look. You start realizing that the Mojave isn't just a backdrop. It's a character. A scarred, irradiated, beautiful mess of a character. Let's also talk about the role-playing depth. You can be a smooth-talking gambler, a pacifist doctor, a stealthy assassin, a drunk explosives maniac, a melee-only survivalist. The game doesn't punish you for building weird. It encourages it. The special system isn't just flavor text, it matters. And your perks feel like real choices, not just plus 5% damage every level. Even reputation matters. You're not just liked or hated. You can be idolized, merciful thug, vilified, sneering punk, accepted, shunned, each with its own impact on how factions and NPCs treat you. It makes the world feel reactive and alive. The choices feel like they ripple outward, rather than just flipping switches on a spreadsheet. And remember how the main quest lets you basically betray everyone? You can work with the NCR and then backstab them in the end. You can pretend to help Caesar's Legion and then destroy them from the inside. You can even tell Yes Man to just do what you say and make Vegas truly yours, independent of everyone else. That level of freedom is something that even a lot of modern open-world RPGs still can't replicate. What's wild is that Obsidian pulled all of this off in just 18 months. 18 months to write, design, build, and ship a world this deep. It's a miracle the game even functions. But not only did it function, it thrived. And while it took years of fan patches and mods to really smooth out all the bugs, the core of New Vegas was always solid. Even now, it's still being talked about, modded, studied, and loved. That's not nostalgia talking. That's legacy. That's what happens when a game does something right. Because when a game gives you freedom, respect, and storytelling that trusts the player, it becomes more than just a game. It becomes a world you want to live in, again and again. Fallout New Vegas isn't perfect. It never was. But perfection was never the goal. The goal was expression, choice, identity, letting you carve your own legend into the Mojave sand, and leaving behind echoes that feel real. That's why in 2025 it still matters. Not because it has cutting-edge graphics, not because it has revolutionary combat, but because it understands what RPGs are supposed to be, role-playing games, where the role you play actually matters. So if you've never played New Vegas, now's the time. And if you have, maybe it's time to come back. Try something different. Make a different choice. See how the wasteland treats you this time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, or telling me your favorite moment in Fallout New Vegas down in the comments. I've got more videos like this coming, so stay tuned. And as always, stay safe out there in the wasteland.
Now I can get to that stash up there, after I deal with you.